Hello, everybody. How are we all? There's no one here yet, but we're live streaming. And today I'm just going to talk boxing. So, anybody has any questions? Geezer's Boxing T-shirt, fantastic company, UK based. Geezer's Boxing. Hello, Red Snapper. Appreciate you joining. Hope you're well. If you have any boxing questions, Red Snapper, please let me know. Anything you want to know, any questions about boxing, any questions about me, any questions about what I do, let me know. I'll be happy to reply. Here to just share information and meet all of my subscribers. If you don't already subscribe, please do subscribe. Obviously, we've got the Dillian White Riyadh show, Dillian White and Moses Atoma this weekend. If you haven't seen my prediction video for that, then check it out. But we are looking forward to that show. We've got Nick Ball fighting Sam Goodman on the undercard. It's going to be a really good fight. Sam Goodman's a tough cookie, unbeaten. I believe he's 20-0 at the moment. Sam Goodman is 20-0, correct, against Nick Ball, who was 22-0-1 with the draw. We've also got Raymond Ford fighting Abraham Nova on that. Ford is 17-1-1, and Abraham Nova is 24-3-1. Good show. Looking forward to both of those fights as well. So I will be tuning in. If my own boxing show, my white collar show that I'm hosting locally, goes well. Poor White gets a bad KO. You probably picked Itoma. You think Dillian White's going to get the KO, Red Snapper? You think Dillian White's going to get him? That's an interesting shout. I think Itoma is going to comfortably outbox him. I think there may be a little bit of a rough ride early on while he gets Dillian White's timing, but I think he's going to slow him down and then White, yeah. I think White will get knocked out, sadly, because I rate him taking this fight and he looks in great shape. But I think he'll get knocked out between round 6 and 9, probably. What's your prediction? When do you think he'll get knocked out? Yeah, let me know. This is my first time doing a YouTube live. It's a bit different. I quite like it. I like the format. I like the setup. Once again, shout out to Geezer's Boxing. Some fantastic gear. If you are UK based, especially. I don't know if they internationally ship. Had some new people join. Hello to the new people who are joining. If you have any boxing questions, drop them in the comments. Red Snapper, that's a great shout. I mean, there's always a chance. Dillian White isn't defensively exceptional, though I believe the work that he's been doing in Portugal with Buddy McGirt, training very, very hard, looks in good shape. Perhaps they've been working on some of his counterpunching, so maybe we will see that. It'll be interesting anyway to see whether he's made any improvements and whether or not this announces him back in the mix. Couple more people. If you are just joining, those of you that don't know me, I'm Matt Goddard. If you do know me, big up and thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to chuck a load of likes towards me as well, please, guys. It only takes a couple of seconds to click that button. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Any questions about boxing, about me, about my business, anything. What happened with this drug test thing? Not sure, mate. Usually inactivity kind of gets them through a sort of discreet, what do they call it? Ban or whatever, but I'm not entirely sure. The thing with this is I believe that every elite world level boxer is on something. It's just whether or not they get caught. It's just how much money they invest in their team, really, more than anything. How much money they invest in their scientists that get them through it. What did it feel like when you were forced to retire? How far could you have gone? Well, I'm always honest and candid about this. It was horrible. I spent a long time kind of moping and struggling with what I was going to do. I was very fortunate to have an incredibly supportive family, and also very fortunate as well to already be working. I already had myself set up with a small gym in my local village, and so I had something I was doing part-time. And it gave me a little bit of a lease of life, really, and I developed a bit more of a love for business and the business of boxing and boxing for fitness and boxing for fun and helping people to enjoy boxing as much as I did. And that's something that I've learned over the years. Realistically, how far could I have gone? I think my skill set, without a doubt, would have taken me to British level. I was boxing at lightweight and light welter. Title fights, I would have boxed at lightweight, 9 stone 9. I'm just shy of 6 foot. I have an exceptional jab, and counter punching and defensive skills. And I think I had what it took, especially at that point there. There wasn't any kind of real enormous threats to me as far as I could see with regards to the skill set. Obviously, there's always risk, and I don't ever want to be arrogant about it. But let's just say, with the experience that I had sparring different levels of guys, skill set wise, I had what it took. Did I have the correct training, mentality, knowledge? Perhaps not. So maybe that would have held me back. Tim. Hello, Tim. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Is being a boxing coach your primary way of making money? Yeah. So that's my full-time job. I run the gym. I run 2 gyms, in fact. Have 1 gym in Hook and 1 gym in Crondall. My Hook gym is primarily the boxing gym, and then Crondall is a bit more of a fitness space. In fact, it's called the Fitness Centre, and I train clients out of both places. Interestingly, I have about 150 unique clients a week, which is pretty crazy, and also across both gyms, I work an enormous amount of hours, which realistically, I don't know many other personal trainers and boxing coaches that do the numbers I do in terms of clients, in terms of retention of clients as well. So yeah, I'm very proud of what I've achieved in business, and it's something that I'm going to start talking about a lot more on my Twitter, especially. It seems like there's a bit more interest in it there. Everybody who's watching, thank you. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I'm aware that sometimes my voice can be a little bit monotonous, but it's great to have you in. And please do all click like. Only takes a couple of seconds, 1 click, and I appreciate you. Any more questions? Red Snapper, yeah, thanks for the question. It was a very good question, and it was a pleasure to answer. Does YouTube have a future for me? Hey, well, YouTube is something that's been happening in the background for me for a long time. It's not something that I've been particularly dedicated to, but I'm certainly investing a lot more time in it now. I've finally cleared 10,000 subscribers with reasonably minimal effort. Hopefully everybody sees the value in my content. I produce a lot of content and I give out a lot for free. I've also got my own private subscription area on my website, The Locker, where I produce completely exclusive content on there, long form videos like I get on YouTube here. And also I've got Instagram subscription. So I've got a lot of things going on, and it's hard to balance making content alongside the work I do. I've also got 3 children. So yeah, I'm a busy guy. Life is fun and always challenging. So the juggling act continues always. The kids, what ages? I've got a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-month-old. Yeah, the family is growing. If anybody has any other questions, Tim, if you've got any more questions, let me know. If there's anybody else on here that has any questions, anything you want to ask about boxing, just let me know and I will do my best to answer them. I'm going to probably realistically do this for about 15 to 20 minutes tonight, talk all things boxing. Anybody has any questions on the up and coming Terence Crawford and Canelo fight? I mean, that is just about one of the best dream fights you could probably ask for in modern boxing. And it's an enormous challenge for Crawford. But, and this is something that I keep saying to people, he's in a win-win really. If he loses, he was too small. If he wins, it's an exceptional performance. Canelo, if he wins, everyone expected him to because he's a bigger man. And if he loses, everyone will lambast him, say it's past it, say he's never been as good as everybody said. Who I think will win, realistically, I think probably quite surprisingly to a lot of people, I think Crawford will win. I think Terence Crawford is a complete boxer. He has an enormous capability for adaptability, and he, in real time, will make those adaptations, which is an absolutely exceptional skill to have. His ability to be physical will probably surprise a lot of people. He's very strong. His wrestling abilities will come into play Canelo is not used to somebody being stronger, being more capable than him in the clinching close. I think a lot of Canelo's work will be nullified by Crawford's work. With that being said, I think it's going to be a very, very close fight. I think it's likely to be sort of 6-6 in terms of rounds. And then it will be which way the judges favoured, a couple of swing rounds, essentially. If Canelo wins, he'll just be called a weight bully. Do you remember Canelo weight back in the day? Yeah, I mean, exactly. Canelo started boxing at light welter, I believe. Yeah. I mean, everybody has quickly forgotten how small Canelo is compared to everyone that he's boxing. The only thing I would say is that I'm absolutely certain, as I mentioned earlier, that Canelo is a drug cheat. Because I think they all are. I think realistically, every single one of them is on something. It's just down to how much money you can afford to invest in your scientists. And obviously, Canelo's been caught out in the past, and Eddie Reynoso has now been, well, it hasn't been laid at his door yet, but I think realistically, it probably should have been. There's only so many times, there's only so much smoke without fire, and I think it's got to be questionable, surely. At this stage, somebody needs to probably run a sensible investigation into it. Big up Geezer's Boxing, some of the best kit in the UK. Big love. Just a quick shout out as well. If anybody on here uses CBD oil, then you've got to check this stuff out. Save some money. Use my code. I take it every night. 6,000 milligrams CBD oil, a couple of drops beneath the tongue. Helps my quality of sleep. Supreme CBD. Head over to Supreme CBD and use the code TBL40. You can get 40% off, which is crazy value. Do you think it's realistically possible for a human being to box naturally for 12? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think cheating was occurring in the chemical cheating anyway. I don't think that was occurring in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s when they're boxing far more rounds. I think so much of it is to do with the weight classes these days. I think they use the drugs to get themselves an advantage, essentially. I think that's what they're doing. I think they're looking for an advantage. And I think what happens is a guy gets the world level, either loses or has a really, really tough fight in which they struggle. And then if they are forced mentally to resort to drugs because otherwise they feel like they're always going to be a step behind and they can't reach the heights they should be able to reach. Pacquiao, Mayweather, Canelo, all of these guys, I would bet my life that at some point they have taken some sort of physical enhancements. This is all personal opinion. This is all just my guess. It's not obviously fact, so please don't quote me on it, but I definitely think there is something. You think boxers have to run to get fighting stamina? Generally, yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily fighting stamina. I think it's base aerobic cardio and anaerobic cardio, which can be enhanced and then augmented via boxing. I think realistically, boxing is the best way to get fit for boxing. James Toney spent all of his career training sparring, barely did anything else, and yet he was incredibly fit and always really strong going into the late rounds at his peak at middleweight. But I would say it's a form of cross training, and cross training is essential to enable you to maintain an adaptable and functional body. It's going to reduce the risk of injury. It's going to reduce the risk of illness. As long as it's well programmed and structured around your boxing training, then it's going to be enormously beneficial long term. Any more questions, guys? Red Snapper, Tim, I really appreciate you both coming with the questions. It's good to have someone to bounce off here because obviously we're not getting an enormous number of views. However, everybody that is tuning in, thank you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the likes, all that good stuff. Anybody that's new on here, drop me some questions. This isn't anything exciting. It's purely just a boxing Q&A. Let you know a little bit about me if you're new here. I'm a former professional boxer. I've been boxing or been in boxing since I was 11 years old. So that is over 23 years in the sport. I won an amateur national title, the junior novices, junior ABA novices, semi-finalist in the juniors, and I had between 20 and 30 amateur fights. I turned professional, won 7 fights undefeated, and then a medical issue caused me to retire. and I'm a licensed professional trainer second. I'm also fully qualified level 3 PT. I've got almost 500,000 followers across all channels. I run 2 gyms. I've got 3 kids. I'm 34, and that's about it for me, really. So that's a little bio for those of you joining in. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I've got about 4.5 minutes left on here. So Tim Red Snapper, if you're still there, please drop me some questions. If anybody wants to chuck up a like, I would appreciate you all. I'm not enormously familiar with this, so it says I can engage with my audience. Start a poll. Oh, that's interesting. I can drop some emojis in there. No moderation. Don't know about all that. Yeah, this is interesting. So as I said, this is a new thing for me. It's not something I've done, but thank you to everybody who's tuning in. I appreciate you all. If you have any questions, last shout. Who will Usyk fight next? Absolutely great question. I spoke about this a little bit. On my review video. I think the only real options for him are Caballero and Ajit Caballero, who has really proven himself to be dangerous in the division. And he's a smaller man, so that would be an interesting fight because Usyk historically has shown that he's finds it a little bit more challenging at heavyweight with the weight, as we saw with Chisora. The bigger guys he tends to be confident with, I think. Or Joseph Parker, I think they're the only 2 choices, and both offer some interesting challenges. But Usyk's done everything he needs to do to prove himself. Next question. Do you know of the fighter Frankie Davies? I do know him. Not personally. I know who he is. I know of him. But yeah, I don't have a lot to add to that. Frankie Davies. Is that who I'm thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking of someone different. Do you know of the fighter Frankie Davies? Is it Frankie Davies? I can't remember. The name rings a bell anyway. I'm sure I know who you mean. Yeah, Coach. Appreciate what you do for the boxing community, brother. Much love from SoCal. Big up. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Your name on here is just Coach, so I'm not entirely sure who you are, but let me know if I don't follow you on different channels and stuff. Let me know. Frankie Davey. Yeah. That's what I thought his name was. Yeah, Frankie Davey. I know him well. Not well in terms of personally, but I know of his career. Yeah. Red Snapper, are you plant-based? No. I did a whole year pescatarian, and to be honest with you, I felt worse for it. I'm predominantly carnivore, really. I eat steak, eggs, minimal much else. So yeah. It's not a I've got I eat a lot of fruit. I eat some veg, but primarily, let's chuck some mango down now. That is very good. Yeah, so no, not really. No, I'm not plant-based. Shane Crowley, my good friend. Those of you that haven't watched it, please check out the Matt and Shane show. Me and Shane is a boxing coach over in Sparta, North Carolina in the USA. And I've trained him online, virtually. I've trained him in person. He's come all the way over to the UK to train with me. We've done a lot of work together. We've had a lot of times just kind of waxing lyrical and talking boxing. And now we've set up a little show together. So please do jump on those episodes. The Matt and Shane show here on YouTube. 4 episodes deep. And we're having a lot of fun with it. So we're going to keep that going. Tim, do you have fighters use creatine? I'll be honest with you. I believe in minimal supplementation and maximal whole foods for your sources of nutrients. Creatine, you can get plenty of creatine from your foods, and realistically, you shouldn't need supplementation if you're eating correctly and if you're not poisoning your body with all sorts of other things. I am pro creatine, so if somebody is struggling, if they got brain fog, if they're having diminished performance, then creatine is a fantastic supplement to add. But I would also first address their nutritional style. Mango. Delicious. Any more questions, guys? I mean, there's lots of people in here now, so I'm probably going to keep it going for a little bit longer. So if anybody has any more questions, let me know. Question: do I like mango? Yes, I do. Just shot you a message on Instagram. Oh, wicked. Nice one, coach. Again, I don't know what your name is, so I can't address you properly. I apologize for that, but thank you. And I appreciate you tuning into the live. Big up. Anybody who hasn't watched my videos, please do watch the rest of my videos. I've got so much content on here. It's crazy. Michael. Hello, Mike. I appreciate it, man. Is it Michael? Is it Mike? I'm just checking you out on checking out my socials. Michael. Okay, cool. I have accepted your message, and my friend, I am giving you a follow back. Big up. Hey, anybody that has Instagram, head over to KUZA Honcho, Kuza Honcho, KUZA HONCHO. Shout out to Michael, who is a D1 varsity DL coach, motorsport industry, NASM sports performance nutrition coach, and a combative athlete and coach. Big up, Michael. I appreciate you. Yeah, thanks for supporting the page and everything I do. Shane, that's a lovely comment. Matt is genuinely the best coach out there for advice, not only for fighting but on coaching as well. He's gone out of his way to genuinely help me and improve my coaching. Listen, I believe that it's very easy for people to believe they have to keep everything to themselves and kind of prevent people from achieving what they could achieve. And I believe that the more you share, the more people you help, the more the karmic circle comes around to help you out. Whether you believe in karma as a spiritual element, whether you believe in karma as a gift from God or whatever religion you believe in, whatever it is, I think putting positivity out into the world and being kind to people and generous with your knowledge and your information is only going to reap rewards long term. Any more questions, guys? With the flash hook technique, I am a longer style fighter. I find that I loop it a bit much. What would you recommend to tighten that up a bit? Depends on your hand position. It's hard to loop a shot if your hand is this way. If you're looping it that way, then it will naturally loop more. So maybe turn the thumb back, throw it as more of a shovel hook position. When I tap with the jab and then flash hook to drive my cross through, or I come out of nowhere to throw that flash hook, it's I find easier to have thumb up as if I'm holding a mug, as if I'm holding a coffee cup. And also remember with the flash hook, the less dramatic it is, the less obvious it is, the more damage it's actually going to do, and the more surprising it's going to be for people, and therefore the harder it will be to defend. Mango. Right, guys, I've got a minute and a half, so quick chuck some questions at me. Let's do this. Boom, thank you, sir. No problem. Michael. Michael, do you like being called Michael or do you like being called Mike? I presume Michael. Worst mistake for beginners to establish as a habit. Poor positioning. Fundamentally, if your positioning is poor from the outset, then everything else is going to crumble. There's no way you can recover from bad positioning. You may get lucky, but yeah. Okay, Michael, no problem, mate. I'll try and keep that in mind in the future. Poor positioning is the biggest mistake you can make. And fundamentally, that will ruin the integrity of everything else you're doing. If Roach versus Tank 2 happens, who do you see taking that one? I think it depends. I'm not sure Tank's head's in it. I'm not sure Tank's heart's in it. If Tank's head and heart are in it, then he will make the necessary adjustments, and I think he'll beat Roach much more comfortably the second time. In a similar sort of vein to Mayweather Maidana. Obviously, the first Maidana fight was a real challenge, but the adaptations and adjustments he made put him in a position to win very comfortably the second time. So I think it would be similar to that. Obviously, ropes doesn't replicate the style of Maidana, but nonetheless. Thanks for the questions, guys. I think I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. I'm going to post this live, so if you want to revisit any of what's been said, we can go through it on the video. One more question, because Shane's asked to go on. What's proper fundamental position? Everybody needs to head over to my website, www.tbltrainingplans.com, and get yourself a copy of my book, A Technical Guide to Boxing Fundamentals. If you get that book, it talks you through absolutely everything you need to know about proper position, proper punch technique, all of these aspects. So if you haven't already, grab yourself a copy. Big love. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all. And thanks to all of my subscribers. Hopefully you guys watch this back and learn from what these fantastic questions have been asked by shout outs to all of the team here. Red Snapper, to Tim with 2 M's, to my good friend Michael here, who has asked some fantastic questions, and of course to my podcast partner and the main man, Shane Crowley of Crowley Boxing Gym, Sparta, North Carolina. Big up everybody, much love. Have a great rest of your evening or day, depending where in the world you are.